Listen, before anyone starts typing angry comments talking about how I'm thinking too much, or I need to just relax and learn to enjoy things, I'll have you know I do enjoy things. I enjoy storytelling. I enjoy innovation. I enjoy films that give me a reason to care about them. Now, I understand why some people might be entertained by a movie like this, but a movie like this only works if the individual person who is watching it is willing and able to accept its absurdity. Let's discuss.
I watch so you don't have to.
Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
What are you waiting for, huh? What are you waiting for?
Cocaine Bear is exactly what the title suggests. After a 500-pound black bear consumes a significant amount of cocaine and embarks on a drug-fueled rampage, an eccentric gathering of cops, criminals, tourists, and teenagers fight for their lives in a Georgia forest. Now, obviously, anyone going to see a movie called Cocaine Bear isn't going in expecting the Shawshank Redemption. This movie is exactly as advertised. I knew what I was getting into going in. I expected crude humor, shock value moments, and over-the-top characters, and I got all of those things.
You're pathetically predictable.
And I've said this before, but with movies like this, you have to be, as an audience member, looking for that and nothing more in order to be able to enjoy it. And I have to be honest, this is just not the type of thing that interests me right now. This movie is directed by Elizabeth Banks. Yes, that Elizabeth Banks. You know, the person who tried to blame people she told to not watch her movie anyway for it flopping?
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
At least with Cocaine Bear, it looks like she's learned a lesson and is trying to at least be a bit more universally appealing, you know, like a good business person should. The movie has a decent cast. Kerry Russell plays a mother looking for her daughter, and yeah, that's pretty much all she's given to do. O'Shea Jackson Jr., aka Ice Cube's son, and Alden Ehrenreich, aka the Han Solo that nobody wanted, play members of the drug organization that lost the cocaine. And I suppose they have decent banter between them and with other characters. They do try to add a little bit more to their relationship with this kind of weird friendship subplot. I wouldn't even call it a subplot, it's really just 2 lines.
Put some effort into it.
And I don't know, I'd rather they just leave stuff like that out altogether, especially if they're just going to mail it in and do as little as possible with it. The late great Ray Liotta plays their boss in a bit role, and I have to admit it was great seeing Ray Liotta one last time. It's a shame that it's not in a film where he reunites with Martin Scorsese or something, instead of a movie about a cokehead bear, but I guess we'll take what we can get. But to me, any Ray Liotta is a good thing. He's always entertaining in any role that he's ever in. The star of the show is the CGI bear, of course, who snorts her way through countless amounts of cocaine and slashes her way through countless unfortunate souls who get in between her and her cocaine. Just think of her as a giant, hairier, more violent version of Lindsay Lohan. This might be a fan theory, but I'm wondering if this whole movie is just a metaphor for Lindsay's career, ruining her career one relationship at a time. Most people are going to see a movie like this for the kills. I mean, why else would you? And there are some decent kills, I have to be honest. The highlight of the kills involves the bear and an ambulance. You do get a quick glimpse of that scene in the trailer, but the full scene plays out in all the dark humor and gory detail you would expect. So I guess I could say that was one of the more enjoyable moments in the movie. There is this kind of WTF scene where the child characters do cocaine as well. Well, they don't actually know how to do it properly, which is kind of the joke. But it was pretty dark and honestly pretty accurate to what I would think kids who have no idea what cocaine is would do if they found it. Maybe this is a metaphor for child stars. Wow, I'm starting to think the Cocaine Bear is deeper than I thought.
Kind of want something that's just a little deeper, really.
Yeah, buzz deeper.
I've seen a lot of people already compare this movie to Snakes on a Plane, and that comparison does make a lot of sense. It's another everything is right there in the title for you quirky animal attack movie that does feel very gimmicky and like low-hanging fruit, because it is. And I remember all the hype around Snakes on a Plane because it had Samuel L. Jackson, and everyone thought that it would be a somewhat hilarious concept. And on paper, it probably should have worked. And it's a little bit of the same energy, I think, with Cocaine Bear. The only difference being, I remember Snakes on a Plane being damn near unwatchable, and I do think Cocaine Bear has at least a little bit more to chew on, pun intended. I'm tired of this bear on this cocaine. But I still think this falls into the category of being a very basic concept, being delivered for pure comedic effect and doesn't really require much thought. And I guess that's what some people are looking for in a movie right now, considering the general positive buzz around this film. And to be clear, regardless of what people think, just because I don't like something doesn't mean that should ruin it for you. If that's the case, then you might not have liked the movie as much as you thought you did.
That makes sense.
I mean, I've already seen the joke about how this is peak cinema being thrown around by a couple hundred people, which is expected because social media has created an atmosphere where everyone thinks they are as witty as this movie thinks that it is. Listen, bottom line, I know some people are going to find enjoyment in Cocaine Bear. Its absurdity will be enough to entice some people to watch it, and its quirkiness will appease some modern audiences once they get there. For me though, it's just hard for me to get invested in a movie or dedicate 2 hours of my life to a movie unless that movie gives me a reason to care either about its story or its characters. Neither of which Cocaine Bear did. Everyone is disposable in this movie, similar to the 80s slasher movies that it's desperately trying to emulate. And it very much, on purpose, has no real tension or stakes to speak of. It's supposed to be an adrenaline rush, like you, the audience, just did cocaine yourself. And honestly, if you did, it probably wouldn't hurt the experience.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
The thing about adrenaline rushes, though, is that they are short-lived. They are temporary and they don't always have a lasting impression. And that's pretty much how I felt about Cocaine Bear. It was hard to feel anything towards this movie, and that is the very definition of a careless Sam Gerard.
I don't care! Y'all be cool. Right on.